Hey everyone, David here, and today we are going to be diving into the topic of, do you have this powerful trait that women find irresistible, and what to do if you don't? Okay. Uh, the there are a few core traits that I find uh, that are universal, basically, right? That if you want to be more attractive to women, and this is absolutely uh, one of the primary ones, one of the most powerful ones that you need to have, absolutely mandatory that you have it. And if you are struggling with women a lot, you probably don't right now. But the good news is you can get it, okay? Because one thing I don't do is share things that don't help you and say, nope, you're screwed, that's it. Sorry, you just either got it or you don't. It drives me crazy. Anyways, that line of thinking for multiple reasons, not just because I'm a coach, but because it doesn't work that way, truly. Okay. Doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but so much is changeable about us. And I'm excited to talk about this with you today. Okay. And so please like, comment, and share if you get value out of this. If another brother from another mother could use help with this stuff, then they might need help with this stuff too. Okay. And drop a comment too, drop a question, anything. I'd love to hear from you guys and interact with you whenever I can. All right. And so also, if you haven't seen my new free report, 7 roadblocks professionally successful men struggle against in attracting their perfect relationship, their perfect 10, right? What that is for each individual guy. Drop in the comments below report. Just type in the word report, and I'll make sure that you get a link to get access to a copy of that, okay? So I'm David Hamilton, by the way. Some of you know me, some of you don't. I am the founder of Core of Confidence, relationship attraction expert for professionally successful men. And that's what I do. That's my main focus and mission in life, okay? And so the powerful trait that women find irresistible, right? Look, guys come to me from all types of, successful guys from all types of professions, entrepreneurs, executives, high-performing professionals like doctors, attorneys, software engineers, IT guys, right, all across the board. And fundamentally, they all struggle with the same core stuff, right? Talk a lot about over-pedestalizing women, okay? They don't want it. They don't need it, okay? They don't need it. They get pedestalized all the time by other guys and by society and commercials and all kinds of things, right? Even in their own thinking, okay? And if you're contributing to that, then you are losing out. But we're not talking about that today. I'm just talking about and kind of laying out some of the common traits here before we get into the big one here. And, I see guys that are long-time single, divorced, typically 30s, 40s, 50s, up into 60s even, reaching out for my help, right? And they don't want to be pickup artists or hardcore hit-on gangsters, okay, gangsters. They don't want to do that. They're tired of it. They've done it. It's a lot of work, and it doesn't work like it used to even. And also online stuff generally isn't going well for them, okay? That's why we get back to the fundamentals, the basics, the way that will last forever and ever until the end of time or until AI takes over. It's a joke. I think even then we'll still be good with this, okay? Which is meeting women in person, meeting women socially. And again, it's not going by and strafing through and talking to as many women as you can, because they pick up on that and they sense that. They pick up on the pickup vibe, okay? It's just a whole different thing. And we're not about that here, okay? And so, right, the guys that are part of this community and come to me are generally rocking in their career. They've done well, they've worked hard, or their business, and health is going pretty well, meaning they don't have any major health issues. It doesn't mean they are in the greatest shape in the world. And it's not a requirement. I think it does help if you are in a decent shape. You don't have to be in the best shape, but I've helped guys with big old bellies and stuff, right? But it's because they applied what I teach here, and especially this main powerful trait that I'm going to talk about here today, that I'm sharing with you today, and going to, pontificate around this topic. And yeah, so let's dive in here. So what is this thing that I keep kind of being a little dodgy about it, but now I'm going to share it, I promise, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Charisma or charm. Okay, charisma or charm is a massive, massive key player to this here. Now, the reason I want to do this live today is because a lot of people think that you either have it or you don't. And I already said that at the beginning of this, that that's a lie, that's BS, okay? It's total BS. There's even a book out there that came across my feed, and I was like, yes, so glad to see it, called The Charisma Myth, which means that charisma can be learned. Are people born with charisma or naturally develop with it? Born with it, I don't know about that, but they naturally develop into it early on. Absolutely, yes. But there are people that naturally take to sports, or naturally take to music or the arts, or naturally take to math or the sciences, okay? But we tend to treat things like charisma, or things about, especially things that are related to people and relationships and sexuality and sexual connection. Either you have it or you don't. And I'll tell you that I fell for this for many years. Although I sort of fell for it, but I sort of didn't, because I'm such a high achiever type, such a if they can do it, I can do it. I got to find a way. I got to do whatever it takes. Okay. Talk a lot about that with my clients. I call it the WIT philosophy, whatever it takes. Okay. So there's research out there, there's studies, and they even give the example of Steve Jobs when he started first giving presentations for Apple. He was awkward, he was janky, right? I call that janky. He did not have a presence or charisma, but you'll see as the years progressed, and especially we all remember, at least I remember, when the iPod came out, iPhone, all these things. He was very engaging, okay? And he learned how to have that presence and be charismatic, okay? And in his version of it too, okay? So here's the thing about charisma. Let's talk about this stuff, or charm. There's a couple different definitions for it. From what I see, I looked this up on Psychology Today, a great site for different psychological things. But they say, well, charm is kind of this thing that comes out of charisma, okay? And the way I might translate that is being charismatic is being, right? And charm is more doing. To me, end of the day, they're really the kind of the same thing. I don't really care. And here's the thing. A lot of times we put an image in our mind that somebody who's charming or charismatic is got to be very extroverted. And this just isn't the case. It's not the case. Someone could be more low key and have an amazing way of listening to people and asking the right questions that can make people feel like this person has a charisma. Certainly you have to be able to say some things about yourself, but having an ease about yourself, having a comfortability in your own skin does a lot for charisma, actually. It's not the only thing, but it certainly can add a lot to your charismatic vibe, okay? And some of you are in your head going, oh, that's not true, and I can't learn this and this and that. Yes, you can learn it, depending on what your level is at of charisma. Yeah, it's going to be a challenge. I'm not going to bullshit you on that. I'm not going to BS you on it, okay? But it's absolutely mandatory if you want to have the vibe that really starts to draw women in and really people in. Because across the room, and into spaces and into places, it's something that people pick up a sense of. It's a sense of, it's like a power that emits from you, okay? An energetic, emotional power. That's what vibe is. And they can feel it before you open your mouth. And then when you do open your mouth, they're like, okay, now you have to be able to back it up with some conversation skills, some social skills, some flirting skills. But this is part of the X factor. It's part of sexually magnetic vibe. It's not the only thing. But if a guy comes to me and he has some charisma going, it's certainly easier for me to help him with all the other attraction stuff. And I absolutely help guys that are struggling in the charisma department as well, okay? Now, here's where it gets a little tricky, because we tend to want to look at things like charisma as what you say and what you do, okay? And that's part of it, but it's really still not the main part. The main part of it all starts in your mind, okay? It all starts there. And it all starts with how you see yourself and how you relate to the world. And this is so, so powerful. As we think, as we feel about ourselves and the world and women and all these things, so that drives our behavior, but even more, so that drives our vibe. And this is so hard to get without, I want to say, without a faith in what I'm saying to you. Because if you don't experience that, you'll think reality is just this. It's just, you're charismatic, you're not, okay? Or I got to do these certain things, but I don't have to change all my fundamental thinking processes and actually emotional processes, because emotions are conditioned too, okay? That took me a long time to figure out. I had one mentor who would constantly harangue me with that. And I would be like, yeah, I get it, but I don't get it, because it's not just a head thing. It's something that you have to experience in all of you, which includes your body. You have to feel it down to your blood and bones. Okay, as I always like to harangue my clients about, the way my old mentor used to harangue me, I say it differently, okay? You see, we live in a society, a current evolution of society, that wants you to believe that things that are external to you control you or influence you. Like women are this and that and that. Instead of it works the other way out. We want to believe the world's outside in when it's inside out. We're all living in our little realities, right? And certainly our realities can line up. Like you've lined up to come to be a part of this community of Core of Confidence because you resonate with my vibe, or maybe you're checking it out and you're about to unlike and move on, and that's cool. It's not for you, because you might go, this guy's a whack job. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Well, I actually do. Okay. This is the core of the vibe too, by the way, because charisma is vibe. Okay. And certainly you can have a friendly charisma, but not a sexual charisma. So you really need to have both. That's another topic for another live. I want to talk about charisma in general, but I want to talk about this inside out phenomena. And it's the reason why a guy doesn't have to be as good looking, but a woman is magnetically drawn to him, because the guy who's really good looking is awkward and stilted, or is not tuned in to what, well, certainly a connection with women and understanding women, but people, and what people are drawn to, okay? Now, here's the thing. What people are drawn to most are not what we do and say, but how we are, how we be, how we're being. Because most people are living thinking, well, if I get what's out here, then I'll be happy and fulfilled. But when they come across somebody that doesn't operate like that, they are drawn to it and they don't know why, and they want more of it. And they want to be around it. And it's not even logical, but they're just drawn. It's like magnet. That's why it's called magnetism, magnetic attraction, magnetic charisma. Okay. It's awesome and mind blowing. And if you don't buy into what I'm saying, well, I suggest you stick around to eventually buy in, because if you don't get this, you're going to be like every other guy, or you might as well go and do the pickup arts and then run numbers and run techniques and tactics only in order to, and see everything as broken down in little distinctions and instead of having an ease and an effortlessness about interacting with women, that you don't have to do all this fucking thinking that I used to have to do when I did pickup, and that I see tons and tons of, I still watch what's out there, pickup people talk about, pursuer people, right? How do you get the girl? Get her. What's the thing to do? What do you say? How do you wear her down until she goes, okay, and submits and surrenders to be your girlfriend in the bedroom, whatever, instead of she's so drawn and compelled to be with you that she's knocking on your door and she's knocking, trying to pull you into bed. And you're like, yeah, of course this is how it is. Because you come from a charismatic reality that is giving and inspiring and helps people and understands the plight of everybody trying to get everything out here, when you are internally driven and actually internally fulfilled without getting the women. Okay, this is so counterintuitive to how we're raised, because, well, tons of money is made through consumerism, and a lot of consumerism is sold through, well, if you get this product and this car and this, and even get the girl, right? I have a whole thing on why getting the girl or getting a girlfriend won't save you. Same thing, getting the girl won't save you. Okay, we could talk about scarcity mentality too, but probably should do a whole separate video on that. I don't want to go on and on and on too much here. All right, so remember to like, comment, and share. Type in report if you haven't gotten access to the PDF report yet. 7 roadblocks for professionally successful men to attract their perfect 10. Now, sort of what here I dropped this title of this report, which is true because it's going to be more of what I'm saying. It's like relationships with women become icing on the cake when you have the type of charisma that you're okay with you, despite not having this, not having that, et cetera, not having the girl, not having the coolest friends or the best social circles. And I want everybody to build their social circles and be social and all that. Absolutely. That is a way to have these experiences. But it's about having more life experiences, not about once I get this experience, then I'll be fulfilled. Okay. People go their entire lives suffering, having stuff, and money and career success and business success and women and the best body, and still be miserable. Now, again, the tricky thing here is I'm not saying to denounce those things, not at all. Okay. In fact, I think that's in a way disingenuous. I almost think that wanting money and wanting women and saying I want these things is more genuine than, oh, none of those things make you happy ever, so don't go for them. I'm not saying don't go for these things, okay, that you want. But I am saying that it's like a matrix out there that's set up. It's really like The Matrix. That movie is so brilliant like that. It really is. And back when I saw The Matrix, I didn't get it. I was so checked out, okay? I'm not saying I'm the most woke person, but I'm way more woke than I was back then, okay? So charisma is an extension of you being really and working on cleaning out all this bad conditioning that actually doesn't work well for happiness or success ultimately, unless you only ever see success as tons of hard work and going against, always up the mountain until the day you die. Okay, that's not a model of success that works for me. I've burnt myself out too many times with that model of success or trying to make it work. Doesn't mean I don't work a lot, and especially when it's appropriate to work a lot, or have worked on my charisma. Let's get back to the topic at hand. Because once you have that sense of charisma and ease and ability to, yes, charm people, but so much of it is how relaxed you are in yourself. Because, see, a lot of what we experience as shyness and social anxiety comes from the fact that if we get their validation, then we'll be comfortable and okay, good, they like me. Okay, good, she likes me. Okay, right? Now, let's talk about beautiful women for a second. With beautiful women, they get a lot of validation. But I call it the house of cards with them. It's house of cards for everyone, but it's really the house of cards for beautiful women. Why? Because when they get all this validation, but you're able to interact with them in a way that you don't validate them or give them that or give a shit if you get their validation, it's like one card from that house and the whole thing falls in your direction. Now, the house of cards is up in all the other guys' direction. Ooh, look how hot she is. And there's what I call squirreling behavior. Oh my God, and check her out, dude, and all this stuff that I say, quit that shit. But still, it's deeper in the mind because quitting that shit isn't necessarily so easy because it's got to be more than behavioral. You actually have to become this guy who doesn't give a crap about if he gets validation from hot women, right? It's very charismatic, actually. Not to want things from other people, especially hot women. But we're so deeply conditioned with it that it's like knee-jerk reactions, right? And they want to be around guys that don't see that's pedestalizing behavior. You're so beautiful. Let me take you out. Let me take you dinner and drinks. Right? Oh my God, I noticed you over. You're so beautiful. Your eyes are mesmerizing. Guys, just saying, okay? Stuff doesn't work. So in wrapping up this live here, so listen, if you're a professionally successful guy, things are going pretty well in the other areas of life, but you are not doing so well with women, then you can reach out and we can have a chat, see if or how I can help you out. You can type call in the comments and let's see about setting a call up, okay, and seeing if or how I can help you out, especially if you'd like to be my next case study. I've got a lot of case studies of guys across different professions, businesses, walks of life, ages, and maybe that'll be you if that's what you want. If you want to become this kind of guy so you have ease with women, whether you want to date more casually, openly, honestly, unauthentically, or find your perfect 10 right relationships, you can just type call in the comments. So that powerful trait is charisma that can be learned. If you don't have it, you've got to start working on it, right? I mentioned the book, The Charisma Myth, and I've had to learn it myself. It doesn't mean it's easy, but I find it to be very, very worthwhile. And so much of this does come down to the way your state of mind, your belief system, which I talk about in tons of videos. I talk about in my Attraction on Command Masterclass PDF report that I just told you about, the ebook, right? You can get access to. Again, type report in the comments to get you access to that. And all this stuff adds up. And when you know that you got the charisma and you can feel it and you actually enjoy it and you see it as a giving thing, then it just keeps, it's like a positive feedback loop that goes, cycles onto it. So instead of a negative downward spiral feedback loop, which is, oh, I'm too shy, not confident, I'm not good with people, I'm not good with women, and just berating yourself or comparing yourself or berating them, right? One of the worst things guys can do is berate men when they see women responding well to them. Okay, that's something you don't want to do, and get angry and, oh, that guy's probably a douchebag, and cut that conversation out of your head. It's really bad. It's really bad for your vibe. Okay. If anything, you want to be happy for them. Okay, because then that will reflect more of that in you. Okay, little mind technique there. So, and you can do that. You can turn that around in your mind every time that you see your mind doing it. It's called a reframe. If you see yourself complaining and, oh, this guy, he's a douchebag, or it's probably because he's got money, because he's older, he's fat, right? Or, oh, because he's a good-looking guy. Maybe he's got charisma and understands women. Okay, don't hate. Hating sucks. There's too much of that shit that goes on social media, by the way, right? Hating. And people don't realize psychologically what they're doing themselves by hating constantly. Hating, right? It's so easy to hate here, and it's like an extension of your psychology, and you're actually hurting yourself more than anybody else. So that is that for today. You can also go to Core of Confidence /podcast, coreofconfidence.com/podcast. Hear different episodes, all kinds of stuff. I got content galore everywhere, okay? So again, thanks for showing up. Please like, comment, and share. And until next time, we will talk to you later. Bye-bye.